guys, this is Grace and welcome to my June edition of Monthly Celebrations video. If you are new to my channel, if you have not heard this is a monthly collaboration I'm doing with Nicole. She is Coley Bing here on YouTube, and I will make sure to link her video in the description below. Basically, we create a layout every month where we focus on something that we celebrate for that month. So for June, I decided to go with a travel theme layout. Usually that's when we start our summer plans or summer travels, because school is, if it's not out yet, it's almost out. And so I decided to do that. I also wanted to kind of see if I could make a page using just 3 pattern papers. I've noticed that in the past couple of months, I've been putting lots of papers in my, like in my kit for that particular layout, and it's just, I'm not using them enough. And so I figured if I go less, I think it will be better for me, and so I won't get overwhelmed. So that's kind of my plan for this month's page. So, and also, if you're also new here, my version of the monthly celebration always comes with a sketch, and so if you are interested in looking at the sketch, it's going to be in my blog post that coordinates with this particular video, and the link will be in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. So let's get started, and let me share with you what I plan on using for this layout. So when I say plan, it's because in the past few months it seems like I have lots of things pulled out to use for the page, but I don't end up using maybe a third of them or half of them. So just know that some of this might be tossed as I go along. Okay, so let's get started. So the pictures that I have are pictures of when we went to San Diego, and this is so we can just go through the downtown San Diego. They have a state park there. Can't remember what it's called. I'm sure. Oh, there you go, Old Town San Diego. And so they have a state park there, and so we just went around. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 4x6 photos, and I was looking at it, and it has the red, white, and blue, and so I thought, okay, well, I'll do a red, white, and blue. So if you're looking at this page, even if you're not doing a travel theme, maybe you're scrapbooking a 4th of July or patriotic themed page, you can definitely use this inspiration, or you can also make a page kind of to prepare for your coming 4th of July events. So I'm working with 7 photos, and then I want to use some of these epoxy shapes, and they are just different kinds of blues and greens. So I'm hoping that it will work. And then also, one of the things that I love about this series is that I get to go through my stash and kind of work on certain elements or certain items that I don't normally work with, or that I've kind of forgotten, and one of those is ribbon. And so I'm gonna see if I can use this trim somewhere on my page. I'm also gonna do my own, I'll be making my own embellishments with Star Punch. I'm thinking of using vellum and then overlaying it with some pattern. So I'm going to have my Fiskars Star Punch for that. And then I also have my vellum. And then these are some elements or die cuts from Pink Paisley. This was, I think, the Pen Pals line, but they had the red, white, and blue tones to it. So I'm hoping that I can use that as my embellishments. Just move that. And I also want to use a stamp. This is fairly new to me, so I'm hoping to use especially the adventure one and the highlights. So hoping that I can use that one. And then as for paper, so as like I said earlier, I wanted to use less paper because I wanted to see if it's better for me when it comes to my scrapbooking and my process to just go with less. So I have 2 papers actually here. So they're double-sided, and they're from Pebbles, Let the Freedom Ring. So I wanted to use both sides of these, and then this side right here. Definitely not going to use this one because it's too big of, the letters, there's just too many, or the words rather. And so I'm just thinking of using these 2. I think I have one more of these this specific paper, so I wanted to use the strip of it, and so we'll see. And then I have blue cardstock as my base. So that is my plan for this particular video. Just follow along and see what I make with it. All right, so I've kind of pre-cut everything out before I turn on the video. I just cut that paper in, I believe I cut that the 4 inches. No, I think it's 3 inches wide, and then it's about 11 3/4 inch long. I like to leave the 1/4 inch around my pages, and so I did make sure that that's a little bit smaller. So I did cut the blue grid paper about a 1/2 inch, and then that's going to be a little strip, and then I just adhered, or I added a strip of adhesive, and then before I put the ribbon in, just to make it easier for me to add that on there. And then I am going to add a little bit of um, the kind of starburst paper on the edge of my collage here. And that was a 2 inch strip, and then I'm adding my photos. I did add another 1/2 inch strip of that blue grid paper on the bottom of the page, and then I'm adding all my photos. And then the top side, I'm leaving that blank for right now because that will be where I'm going to put my journaling. And I couldn't decide yet if I wanted to do handwritten journaling or printed, so I'm just going to leave it like that for right now. And then I'm going to do the same treatment on the left side, adding everything, making sure that everything butts up together and they're all connected. Now I'm adding a little strip of vellum on there because I wanted that that place will house my title, and I wanted my title to stand out against the very busy background. So my way of doing that is to subdue the pattern a little bit with vellum. Doing the same exact thing, cutting everything out and then tearing it, and then I will add some ribbon to the top of that right now. And I love how using my ATG gun, I was able to just, to add enough adhesive that was the same width as this ribbon, and it was so easy to adhere it on my page. I'm just trying to figure out which photo would go best on the top and on the bottom, and I wanted this photo of the what is it called, a kiln, or like a outside oven, and I had to trim that down because then it would go over the space where I wanted my photos to be. So I'm just trimming out some photos here. Don't need all of the white space, so I'm just trimming that down. And again, these are photos of when my family and I did a little bit of touring in downtown San Diego, where they have the Adobe House, and they have other things there that's really kind of nice for historical purposes, and my kids loved to look at that. So I did use the word together as part of my title, and then I'm gonna spell out the word discover with some simple stories, smaller letter stickers. And you won't see me do that because for the longest time, I was not sure which one would go best, and so I kind of moved things around, and it took me forever to decide on which sticker I'm going to use on that. And then I punched out some vellum because I did want to layer them on some paper. And I'm just using my craft knife there because my nails are so short because it was cut, and so I could not pick up these stars for the life of me. So I just used my craft knife for that. And I like the grid paper, the blue and white grid paper, but my stars are not standing out against all of the pattern. So I rummaged through my scraps and found the one paper that I showed you earlier, and it has just a solid blue, and the blue matched the blue from the banner, and so I figured I'd punch my stars out of that. And then I am going to be pulling out some glittered red cardstock also from my scrap stash, and then I'm going to punch out some red from that. My initial thought was I was going to use the same pattern paper, but like I said, it was competing with all of the other patterns that was already on my page, and so I decided to go with solids, which turned out really good. So I love that the vellum and the solid paper, when you overlap the stars, it just creates this starburst effect, which is kind of reminds me of the fireworks that we see for 4th of July. So that's what I did with that. And I just adhered the two of them with some tiny attacher. And I will add some of these with some foam adhesive just so that some of them will be raised and others not. So it looks good to me. I do want to add some more stamping, but I couldn't figure out where to put the stamping right now. You won't see me do this, but I actually add the stamping on the tops of those banners that you see on the top pattern paper. I kind of curved my stamps so that it will go with the curve of those banners. So, and it's pretty easy because um, with acrylic stamps, you can kind of form them however you want or need them to. And so just by doing that little curve, it looked like it was part of the design of the banner, which was I was happy with the results of it. And you will see that in the detail shots later on. And if you ever want to know what kind of sketch that I have, or what the design that I used for this page, you can always go in the description below in my blog link, because it will have the sketch that I created for this particular layout, and you can always pin that or print that off for your use. That's free. You don't have to sign up for anything to get that, and so all of those sketches are always available on my blog. So now that I am happy with my title, I am going to adhere that. And I do cut that out with my silhouette, and I just use a free font that I got from the internet. And if you ever want to know what font that is, I believe I have a tip video that talks about that, because I like to do like mass cutting when I can, and so I just did that, a bunch of not random but generic titles, and I just did that one day, and I still have a few, and I think I did that like 8 months ago, so, or maybe almost a year ago, I can't remember. But if you're curious as to what font that was, it's going to be in that video. Maybe I'll add it to the link in the description below, so you can just click on that. It will take you directly to that DIY tip that I had. Anyways, I am pulling out some of these die cuts from that Pen Pals die cut packs, and they're just labels, and so I decided to add some word stickers that I got from the um, Tim Holtz word sticker pack. And then I pulled out the Teresa Collins word letter stickers, thinking that would be good, but the brown one just doesn't match well with the gold on the title that I already have on there. And then I pulled out some Simple Stories one, and it didn't have the color that I wanted, and because it's used up, it didn't have all of the letters. And so I will pull out a newer Simple Story sticker pack, but it's the same font as the one that you just saw me kind of go through. Here I'm just adding some of the stickers, or the stars rather, some with foam adhesive and some with just the glue dots. I'm adhering that. I am using a typewriter that has like a piece of paper on the top. It's a die cut, and I just stamped my title, or no, my date on there, so that's gonna house my date, and you'll see me adhere that on this on the page here pretty soon. So that's going to do it with my page. It's pretty simple. I love doing these pages where you kind of worked around the photos that you have. And so what I always do is I kind of lay my photos and see where I could add embellishments and papers and all that stuff. So, and it just comes together super
fast for me. So there is that typewriter, and there is my page. And I will do, oh, I have to have some enamel accents, and I'm going to use the arrows. Because I pulled it out, why not, use it? So I'm going to use the blue ones and the kind of blue-green color scheme here. And I will add the journaling later on. Still try and add some things, but I think that's going to do it for my page. Now, this is where I told you I added some of the stamps, and I was really happy with the results. So, like I said, just curve your stamp and that will do the trick. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next month. Bye.